Yeah, let's do a Tuesday night recap. Whereas we close in on the end of the night here on February 6th, we'll talk about the NBA algorithm and the college basketball algorithm. NBA, which had a really good day yesterday on Monday, does not have a good day today. Loses with OKC, loses with Minnesota Timberwolves in overtime. The Magic were not even close, and this game is still going on between Milwaukee and Phoenix. So it's not a good day. Um, Odds makers had a couple of these teams that lost, but we also have an underdog, and we might even lose two underdogs. So it's just not a good day for NBA. That will happen sometimes, and it looks like it's happening today. So one good day yesterday, and not so great day today. But let's focus more on college basketball, where there are more games and more availability. And I mean, I have been saying something every day. It's games that are above 20% margin. There are a few games still going on right now. It's not over yet. There's, I guess, three or four games still going on. The Charlotte, South Florida game will end before this video is over, which is this one. This is a close game that probably won't end before the end of the video. But then San Diego State is up by 20 points in the first half, and St. Mary's is supposed to crush this. So there are a few games left, but we'll talk about the rest of the schedule, and we'll see what happens in that Charlotte game, which is a 1 point game with 20 seconds left. But I mean, it's pretty obvious the difference between teams that are at the top of the list and have significant margins and games that do not, right? All these games here below 15% margin. Cutoff was really 15% margin today. It's like everything is winning above 15%. That's the top 12 games here. But I said, do it at 20, because that's more reliable. It just so happens that you win these games down here. 15% so, but then it's choppy. It's almost completely even. I think it's 7 and 9 here in the bottom 16 games, and that's right. Like they're too close to call reliably. So it is not glamorous wagering because the lines are terrible, but it's still really, really reliable. And let's take a look at what that paid today. If you played every team that was over 20% margin, it was all the way up to Wake Forest. And then there's San Diego State. There's a couple games that are still going on. But if you just took, say, these eight, if you didn't play the late games, you can see it's 81%. You make 81%. Like you turn that down if you don't wager on this. And that's if you spread it over everything. If you do something which I would recommend, kind of just sticking to the ends here, you're like, all right, $10 on the parlay and maybe $10 on all the sevens, because you're really supposed to win 90% of these games. Here you can end up making more than double your money, and end up, betting 90 and getting back to 40. But you're turning this down if you don't bet on this. I did not bet this today. I saw these awful lines and I was just like, I can't do it. But as non-glamorous as it is, as just standard and hardly gambling and not looking at a huge payout and just trying to get some really strong favorites to win, it does that. And it does pay. And it just seems like a way, you don't hit this yesterday, but you do hit it today. And that's a way to weight it more than 2-1. The sweet spot here was if you played the top 12 games, because you still win the top 12 games here. And I mean, what does the parlay pay there? 10, no, wow, 9-1. Wow. I mean, you get that win out of Dayton, you get the win out of Wake Forest, get the win out of Kent State. That actually looks really good. Now, I wouldn't recommend just playing the parlay because that's kind of risky, but on a 12 team round robin, they might depending on the website, they'll let you, play certain areas of here. If you just spread this out, if you were able to wager on all these, 4,000 wagers. It's gonna be a $400 bet here. Yeah, you win 2.5 to 1. This is really solid. But you would have had to know to stop at 12, and really you were supposed to stop, I guess, at 8. And depending on the other games that you could have played that are still going on here, the St. John's, no, who is it? St. Joseph's or somebody? Who is it? The ones that are still going on are going to pop up here without results. It's St. Mary's and then San Diego State, both of which are probably going to win. That would get you 14 in a row. Do we beat the odds makers today? Sort this. Ascending by money line. Guess what? Did the odds makers get 14 in a row like we're probably going to get? Nope. Nope. The odds makers are probably going to stop at 11 in a row, and then they have Maryland and North Carolina and GW and Ohio State, all teams that lose that the algorithm did not put as high up there because the algorithm put it in this order, which is pushing those games down. And yet another example of the algorithm absolutely doing what it's supposed to do. And it looks like we almost have a final in the Charlotte game, which is looking like South Florida is going to win this game. So that makes the day, I believe, 19-10. But that Charlotte game was a game that was well below these other games, and it comes up as a loss, down here. So I have to call this yet another confirmation that we are, I think it's 4 or 5, at least 4 days in a row that I've done a video and I've talked about the 20% margin. 3 out of those 4 days, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday. I think I started on Friday, actually. I think it's day 5 here. I believe it is 4 out of the 5 days, teams over 20% margin. It's definitely 3 out of 4 days. It might be 4 out of 5. That just playing those games on a round robin was absolutely a winner. And, what can I say? The lines are bad, but the teams win. So what can you ask for other than make winning bets? And as you can see, you could sneak down that all the way to about 15%. I told you in the video earlier today to play Dayton, and they did win, and they won pretty convincingly. And I was scared of Wake Forest. I guess I shouldn't have been, because they also won convincingly. Those two actually had some reasonable lines. So I can't really complain about the college basketball algorithm because it is once again winning with the team up top. And assuming San Diego State and St. Mary's hold on, you are going to have 14 in a row at the top of the list when the odds makers only had 11. So it is once again a win for the algorithm today on Tuesday the 6th. I'm going to take a break tomorrow, and I got some other work coming on, so no more basketball videos in the near future here, but you can go purchase a copy, and you can get a copy, and I will email it to you current the day that you purchase it, so that you'll have it and you can start updating it and follow along and do what you need to do. All right, good luck everyone. I hope your picks won today, and I hope they continue to be winning.